the arrest of 6 anti-monarchy protesters before the coronation. Long story short, they thought these guys had a van full of what they call like lock-on devices, basically. Arrested them, put them in custody, put them on bail, and have now decided to release them with no further charges. Well, no charges at all, basically, because they couldn't prove intent. I'll start with you on this. This kind of public order bill, as it was discussed past last week, it is quite controversial, or has been for certain members of society. Where do you stand on it?
Well, this is just abject from the Metropolitan Police, going round individually apologising to these demonstrators, giving them back the luggage straps that they claimed were going to be used by the protesters. It's time to abolish the Metropolitan Police, get rid of this shoddy organisation for once and for all. They employ rapists, they employ criminals, and now they arrest ordinary, decent British citizens and deny them their free speech.
Well, they employ tens of thousands of people, don't they? And I'm sure the majority of which will be fine.
They do, but they also the Metropolitan Commissioner knows, and he said he wants more power to sack people more quickly. There's such a deep-rooted problem in the police.
So what would you replace them with then?
A police service for London. A police service for London. You get rid of the Metropolitan Police and reform them, refound them, and have a new culture.
I thought the Met Police was a police force for London.
But you have to get rid of the culture of the Metropolitan Police, get rid of the name.
So you'd spend all of that money getting rid of an entire police force to start up again with a different name?
The Royal Ulster Constabulary had to get rid of the RUC and replace them with the PSNI.
No comparison.
There's no public support for the police in London. There's no public support. You saw this on...
Well, that's a bit harsh.
Previous discussions we've had, your viewers are very strong, highly critical of the police and their performance, not just in London, but around the country. They don't catch criminals. If you get burgled, they give you a police number for your insurance. But this is clamping down on free speech. And I've got no doubt at all, this is because Suella Braverman said, I want to see some arrests. I, the Home Secretary, want to see you, the Metropolitan Police, make some arrests, put a bit of stick about. And that's been a humiliating climb down. What are they doing? They either had cause or they didn't. They clearly didn't have cause at the time they shouldn't have started.
Jacqueline?
Well, I thought the coronation was fabulous, just on a lighter note here. And then we look at the reason why they're there. I mean, the reason that any government is in power, from whichever party, their primary purpose is about the safety and security of the citizens of the country. I come from a safety and security critical industry. Hindsight can't play any part in anything that we determine. The vast majority of people who were here in London on Saturday and over the weekend wanted to come and enjoy a national event, which was... most of us won't see the next one in our lifetimes, or many of us probably won't. And I have no issue with people who protest. I've been out on the odd little protest. But the trouble is we have these minority groups now, and it's all about them. There is no account taken of the vast majority who may agree with some of the points that they raise, but they just want to disrupt everything. And we've seen it with Extinction Rebellion, and we've seen it with a number of others. The number of police officers, I say good. The Metropolitan Police at the weekend did a brilliant job. The vast majority of people that work in the police force look after us. We know there have been some bad eggs there, and it's all then about leadership of who's leading these police forces. And I think they've had some strong messages, and there are certain things that need to change. But, you know, just say somebody would have had something in their pocket in whatever, and it could have been an explosive device. Just imagine the carnage. You know, we rely on security and intelligence to be able to tell us what's going on.
This was Keystone
and then we have to have the police. We have the feet on the ground who are hopefully then making sure that something bad didn't happen. So good on you, Metropolitan Police. You've got my full support. You know, redo things in terms of the people that have clearly not been good. Get rid of them. Let Mark Rowley get rid of them. An easier way to get rid of bad police. But the vast majority are great, and I thank them for all the work that they do. And
let me ask you this, though, to John's point. So on the occasion where, so say if they've arrested these people, chucked them in a cell because potentially they might be using these, whatever it was, bungee cords, whatever. What? No, I'm on about these locking on things.
Oh, no,
so
well,
then
they had rape alarms.
The rape alarms were actually the night patrol of Westminster City
No,
Council.
they were arresting people at 2 in the afternoon with rape alarms on them.
But if they then decided afterwards that actually we didn't have the means to determine whether or not you did intend to lock on, don't you think then They should be, oh yes, like if someone arrested you for something and then actually decided, on reflection, we didn't really have enough kind of stuff there to have charged you, wouldn't you expect that person to go, yeah, actually, sorry about that?
Of course I would. Of course I would.
So you think they were right to apologise?
They're making split-second judgments about the situation that they are then dealing with. It's like police officers that carry weapons.
They weren't dealing.
You say that. You don't know. There were tens of thousands of people.
Well, I do know because they've apologised to them all. I know they weren't terrorists. They were overreacting, over-policing, and they were trying to perform for the Home Secretary.
Well, I think they did a great job, and I don't think that they over-policed. If you're talking about 30 or 20 out of the thousands of people who were arrested and now they've looked at it and said, perhaps we shouldn't have done that. Fair dues. OK, there has to be an apology. But frankly, why did they have to pick anyway? I mean, I don't care if somebody's a Republican. It's entirely up to them. But, we've got one day with a coronation. They protest all the time. And all they do
you think they should have been
a nuisance with everybody else?
Do you think they should have been allowed to disrupt the coronation?
Well, of course not. They had no intention of disrupting the...
No, I didn't ask you if they had intention. I asked you, do you think they should have been allowed to disrupt?
I think free speech, if it's a right and it's a value that GB News believes in, if you believe in free speech, you believe in free speech of the people you really don't like.
But that's not my question. My question is...
And they had the right.
I believe in free speech.
Of course they had the right to demonstrate in silent demonstration. They had the right to
No, you're not answering my question. My question is a really simple question. My question is very simple. I'm definitely asking a question. It's not a complex one either. Do you think that if people are anti-monarchy, they should be allowed the right to disrupt the coronation?
That was not the intention of those people.
No, that's my question to you. I'm asking you a simple question.
I think the police had the right to arrest
people. But why can't you answer my simple question?
No, because it's not an actual question. The police have the right to arrest demonstrators disrupting. They don't have the right to arrest people whose opinions they disagree with.
Well, you won't answer my question.
On free speech. No,
I'll answer my own question.
No, you're asking a hypothetical question.
Yeah, no, you don't have the right to disrupt a coronation that actually many people in this country supported and got behind. I didn't say we were a dictatorship, but given that you can't answer my basic question, then I'll leave it to you guys at home to decide. Who do you agree with? All opinions are valid.